After 15 minutes, where's the ambulance? We've had nothing. There's a kid, dead. We need one here now. So the air ambulance got there after the ambulance, but the ambulance couldn't get on the field. The groundsman had lost the keys in the commotion of everything. The ambulances came on, hit me with the defib, brought me back, put me in the ambulance. In the ambulance I went again. Defib hit me again, brought me back. I was walking down Seal Street on Saturday. Oh my God, you're off that show, aren't you? And
I was going to ask you that. That was what I was going to come to.
My head just fell off, and I was like, yeah. And she went, my mum loves you, can I get a picture? And I was like, yeah, go ahead. Just to sort of picture what happened was my arteries thickened and my heart couldn't push the blood through my arteries because my blood was too thick. So it went into a cardiac arrest.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Shake the Mic. Today I'm joined by reality TV star, model and sports personality Ant Jacobs. Ant, welcome on, brother.
Nice one for having me, lad.
Thanks so much for coming in. And thanks for taking the time out of your busy schedule as well to join us.
No worries,
appreciate it. Let's start out with what's hot right now, the flavour of the month, Scouse Life. Everyone's talking about it. It's got a lot of people talking. I'd like to know all about the whole experience and how it's impacted your life since the pilot was released on the 12th of November.
To be honest, lad, it's something that's been in talks for about 18 months, and I didn't think it was ever going to go anywhere, to be honest. The whole process was mad.
Tell me about the process. How does something like that come to be?
So, obviously, everything's on social media now, innit?
Yeah.
So, they've approached a bunch of us just on Insta, and to be fair, lad, I blanked them straight away. I was like, I've been approached by Love Island, Celebs Go Dating.
I was going to ask you about that, big brother. We'll come to them, but
yeah. So they just messaged me, and then it was just a few phone calls, just meeting with the producers and that. And one thing led to another. And my first instinct...
Who was it who messaged you? Is it Channel 4 who messaged you?
No, it was some girl called Alice. So they have their own little accounts.
Alice. Who the fuck? I had to do that.
Well, at first, I was thinking, who the fuck's Alice? You know what I mean? And then one of the girls, Georgia, she messaged me and she was like, will you answer the phone to Alice?
Do you know Georgia?
Yeah. I've known, this is what I mean, everyone's saying the cast don't know each other, but that's how it comes across on camera because everyone's a bit nervous. Imagine just jumping from living an everyday life, working all day, every day, to then 9 till 6 at night. Cameras are just in your face. Wow. And you're just sitting there how do I act normally? I'm not used to this.
Yeah, it must be very, very difficult to just be yourself. And as much as you're trying to be yourself, and then you can over-try to be yourself, and then you become paranoid, thinking, am I coming across as me?
Yeah. Especially when you're trying to down Prosecco at 9 o'clock in the morning. Do you know what I mean? Pretending that you're on a night out. But, the whole process of it was quite thorough, to be fair. It was a lot better than what I thought it'd be.
Was it scripted?
No.
That's the question, innit? That's what everyone's asking, innit?
Nah,
was it scripted?
We get asked this all the time, so we're going out more and more and more as a group, as a collective group now. And the biggest question is, do you get told what to say? And it's no. But let's say if I'm having a conversation with the boys and the cameras aren't on me, the cameras are rolling on Melina and Adam or someone else, and they're having another chat. All the producers are mic'd up. We're all mic'd up and all the producers have got earphones in. So they can hear every conversation that's happening. Everything that's said is monitored. So if we're having a chat in the corner, the boys are having a laugh and that, they'll say to us, can you do that again on camera? And then it's a bit mad. You're like, I don't know how to say it again. I can't say it.
It's never as organic the second time as it is the first time. The first time it's real. It's like if we recorded this whole podcast and then I said to you, let's run it again.
Yeah.
You never ever get it the same the second time.
No, exactly. If we done this podcast now and you were writing down everything that was said, good or bad, and you was like, let's just do the good, it'd be year 10 drama. You'd be sitting there going, I thought this was great, and I thought, ha. Do you know what I mean? It'd just be a bit mad. So I understand why people say it's scripted, but it's genuinely not. It's just working around them angles of being authentic 24/7. You've got to re-say things. But one thing that I will say is obviously the producers know about our lives because they've been on us for about 18 months.
Yeah.
So when we're having conversations, because we are trying to have a genuine conversation, a producer will be behind the camera and he'll be shouting stuff like, how do you feel about, for example, Jenny and Johnny? So I was having a conversation with Johnny, saxophone shopping, and he was like, so how do you feel that, oh, what did he say? He said something, and he was like, oh no, he said to Johnny, he was like, so how do you feel about Jenny wanting to propose? So the golden it that way for the conversations to go one way or the other, but everything that's said out of our mouth, that's just...
And they're recording the responses and not the questions.
Yeah.
Do you know, being organic 24/7 is one thing, and being like authentic, your authentic self, but was the pressure in terms of having an element of professionalism around it, in terms of you're not used to having a camera in your face 24/7.
Yeah.
So if you're with the lads or it's more relaxed, you know, you're swearing, you're messing around, and you're really truly being who you are. But obviously, if you know that this show is going to go on Channel 4 or whatever, you're thinking to yourself, you're a bit more conscious of what you're saying or how you're saying it. Yeah. Was that difficult to try and align yourself that way?
Yeah, there was loads of times that way we had to do retakes because like we'd be talking about something or we'd be talking about someone that wasn't in the show, and because they're not in the show, you've got to strip it back and like be like, oh, I was with someone last week, or like, like you're not allowed to wear brands or nothing. So like when we talk about fashion and stuff in Liverpool, like we all like to dress nice and we all like to dress a certain type of way, but you can't name drop anything because it's all about promoting other brands that we're not signed off for. So it's like, there was times where I stuttered a few times and I was like, oh, like we need to do that again. Obviously.
Liverpool is a fashion capital as well.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, of the world. Like anything, Liverpool are well dressed, aren't they? Everybody who goes out, it's you go to the place and you think, wow, these dress mad. It's not. It's just,
lad. For as much as we like our expensive clothes and our expensive shoes, I don't really go out to Liverpool for my fashion. The likes of Murray, the likes of Vincentus, the likes of Lost Souls, they're the homegrown ones that are still very much homegrown and trying to make it big. But then you've got a bunch of lads in and around the city, like Yale, like Monterex, like they blew up.
Yeah, they've smashed it.
But that all came from the Northwest. That all came from either over
someone's
the water, St. Helens. Yeah, it all came from...
Sitting there going, you know, the lads from Monterex said, like, they were in the back room and the mums and stuff like that. That's how these are growing, these organic brands, and we should be behind it.
But that's what I mean. Like we couldn't. People were saying we need to showcase Liverpool more. But it's like on that show we can't showcase it more than what we did because we'd have to go through so many legal documents and speak to so many different people in the brands. Like if we wanted to name drop Monterex or we wanted to name drop Yale, like the first day of recording, I wore a Vincentus job and he was like, "You've got to wear plain white or black or like plain clothes." And I was like,
I haven't got no brand of clothing.
I don't have clothes that don't have a brand on. Like,
Scousers, lad, it's the only place where you'll see someone wearing a Moncler jacket for £1,000 getting on the bus. It really is, though, lad.
Not even just a Moncler jacket, lad, you'll have a pair of Dior's on as well.
It's the truth, though, innit? You know what I mean?
100%.
Apart from going on Good Morning Britain back in 2015, which we'll touch on that later, and that incident and that part of your life, was that the first time that you've ever appeared on national television?
Yeah, it was, and it was quite surreal, to be honest.
Was it?
Yeah, like it didn't really hit home until we watched it, and we didn't get to watch it until everyone watched it.
Was it nerve-wracking? Do you know, obviously filming it, was it nerve-wracking? And on the release, when it premiered, was you thinking like, how is this going to land? How's it going to come across? No, when you're seeing like the final edit and you're sitting, where did you watch it? Let me ask you that.
We all went to Mansion.
Was you all together?
Yeah, we all watched it in Mansion. You know what was boss? My nan flew over from Portugal.
Wow.
So my nan's lived in Portugal for about 8 years now.
So the whole cast all went to Mansion, and when this premiered, you actually watched it at that time when it come out. Because it was later on in the night when it was about 10:30 or something when it come on. So 10:30, and you're all sitting in Mansion in town watching this.
Yeah, so we all got to... We arranged Mansion on a Tuesday night, and thankfully they let us have it. And lad, you know what? I think that's the busiest I've ever seen Mansion.
It was banging.
lad, it was just such a good vibe. But yeah, it was 10:30 at night. We got there at 7. Friends and family started coming in at 8. And from that point, I think, me personally, I was stressing, like I was proper stressed. So I just got drunk dead quick.
Yeah, the best things to do.
Lad, I remember watching the show, and for the first interval, up until the first interval, that's all I remember. And then I was like, yeah, like I'm like,
yeah, it was a blur then.
Yeah, because all my anxiety and all my stress just went.
You're
You
just
know what I
buzzing
mean?
then,
And
you're
I was just
enjoying it.
like, yeah. And obviously the backlash of it, people are saying, oh, it's shit. People are saying, oh, it doesn't represent us. People are saying we're all wolves and that.
Yeah.
And it's just like, lad, keep sitting on your couch typing.
Listen, at the end of the day, and you know, people are always going to talk. People will talk about this. People will talk about that. People will talk about whatever, for good or for bad.
Yeah.
But I always say bad publicity, any publicity is good publicity. And, you know, people will talk about things and people hate. You're going to get haters. But if you've got haters, you're doing something, lad. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, you know, I think society now, a lot of people need to just try and stay in their own lane and concentrate on themselves.
Oh,
and if you're that
100%.
busy, caught up on yourself, you're not sort of worried about what other people are doing. And, you know, there'll be people who come back with rave reviews and say, what has the feedback on the show been like for you personally?
For me personally, lad, anyone who knows me, I'm a bit of a loose cannon, to be honest.
Yeah.
When I'm out, whenever I'm going for a bevy, or even just like me day to day,
Yeah.
I'm very much me. And the only way I can explain that is I say what I want when I want, and I do what I want when I want. And that might get me in trouble sometimes, but it also gets me a bit of respect as well, because I'm unapologetically myself. So it's like...
I'm going to apologise to absolutely fucking nobody.
Yeah, the Mac life, eh? But yeah, for like, people were saying to me, like, I held myself really accountable. People have said that I seemed really genuine, and that they could tell it, like, it was me.
Seen a little thing in an article somewhere and it said, like, your mum gave you some advice and said, just be yourself, lad, be you. And I think that is the very, very best advice you can have, innit? You know,
100%.
just be authentic, be who you really are.
100%. I mean, I think she said it in a way where it's like, be you, but don't be too you. She knows, because she knows what I'm like. And I think obviously as the cast have got closer, there's a lot more stories to unravel once it goes through a series.
With the cast and stuff like that, was there any clashes with the cast, you know, in terms of like people not getting on with each other behind the scenes, or, you know, or collectively on a whole, does everyone get along?
Nah, you know what I think it is? Obviously, it's dramatised for telly, but I think everyone respected each other's ground. And that's what it came down to. Like, everyone really does get on. Like, we're in a group chat, and the group chat doesn't stop going off. Like, my phone's constantly vibrating. I had footy last night, and I gave my phone to the gaffer, and he was like, at the end of the day, whose phone's this? Because I don't stop buzzing. And I looked at it, and he's about 60, 70 messages from like 1 hour just in that chat. But we all push each other. We all want each other to do well. We all know that this is something that we have in common that no one else has in common. Could
be a springboard for every person who's went on it as well, because obviously it's like anything, doors open doors, and this could lead on to something else for yourself and for other people. On what basis were the people chose to take part in the show? So, you know, what made them approach you? Did they tell you, Ant, why they approached you for the show?
Nah, you know what? I don't think they did. From the conversations that I was having with them early on, I've always been in and around the hospitality scene in town, so I think that's where they got it from.
Yeah.
And I think that's a lot to do with all of the cast, to be honest. So, Liam's a doorman, Georgia's a dancer, she's worked in and around town for years. Sasha's a DJ, Johnny's a saxophonist, Jenny's a singer. Like, everyone's known each other for years. So it's like, they got that in common.
All people who are like sort of iconic locally in the city, people who other people know, who they can relate to. So they've went, listen, if we're gonna, you know, make a show about Scousers, let's get like Scousers who are known locally. Yeah,
well, I think that's what was said. I think someone said, what was it? Someone said on a comment, and I think it might have been on Facebook or Instagram or even TikTok, and they was like, iconic, I've never heard of any of them. And it's like, yeah, but you're 40. You haven't been.
You need to go out.
You haven't been to town. Like, you don't know any of us because you're sitting there in your kitchen on a Saturday night. You're not out in town. You're not you're not socialising. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're not out and about.
So you're not gonna know us. Like, did anyone know Joey Essex before he was on
No,
Towie.
but he was Ream, lad. He made it, didn't he? You know what I mean? You know, and that's what it's all about. Once you get on there, and now look at Joey Essex. It was a springboard for him, weren't it? He just went bang, bang.
Yeah.
And some people do, and some people will, and some won't. How did you think it represented Scouse culture? Did you think it got things right?
So there was a lot that we recorded that wasn't in there. And a few of us have sort of seen our ass with it, to be honest.
When you watched it back and that went in there, was you like, fuck, where was that all?
Yeah, because like, there was, like Rain. Rain's an amazing singer.
Rain Castillo.
Yeah.
She'd be a boss one for Shake the Mic.
Yeah, Rain is funny. Like, I said to her the other day.
I get it in a few notes.
Lad, you know what? Once you start it, you can't stop it. You can't stop it. She's actually got a final on Thursday as well that we're all going down to. So, but yeah, what was I going to say then? I said to her the other day, I was like, I forget that you can actually sing because there's so much more to it.
Yeah,
you know
she's not just a singer.
She's not just a singer. She's
multi-talented.
Yeah, she's a proper personality. Because she got me down to Red Run, and as we were getting changed, she just let out a tune, and I actually forgot that she sang, and I was like, what? I forgot.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean. The cast have got so much more to offer. Even the cast that weren't even on the show and made the final cut. There's 8 or 9 of us on the poster, and there's 8 or 9 of us that get actually featured. But there's 16 of us who were recording.
Yeah.
And I'm not just saying the 16 of us who were in the background and like the 16 of us who was like just there. We had genuine conversations on camera, and they were probably the funniest conversations of the whole show. But for a pilot, they've obviously tried to dramatise it.
Yeah, and make it the best they can.
Yeah, and obviously around my leader.
So there's people who were actually part of the cast that didn't get airtime on that pilot. Do you think if it does go to a show and it develops, then people will get?
Yeah, 100%. And I think the lads were on BBC Merseyside last week, and a couple of the lads were on there who never got any airtime. Ruben and Mahmudo.
That must be hard, innit, for them.
Yeah, but I think they understand. Like,
at the end of the day, we need to cut the best bits out, and we need to try and get eyes on this, so give everyone a future.
Yeah, but like they said on BBC, it was like there's a little bit of a divide in Liverpool with the north and the south end, and it's like people don't realise that there's Scousers with culture, and like Ruben's a world-renowned model, and he's a black Scouser, and he always says when he was in Dubai like 3 weeks ago, people heard him speaking. He was like, "Well, I didn't realise you were from Liverpool," because they just assumed by the way he looked, that he wasn't a Scouser.
We do that though. We stereotype people, don't we? You see a certain person and you align them straight away in your mind as a certain type of person. We think we're all guilty of that. And sometimes people, what's happening, lad? And you'll be like, fuck, I weren't expecting that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I've had it both flat sides of the coin.
Yeah.
I've had people have said to me, "Oh, I thought you would be really stuck up and up your own ass." But then I've also had people think, "You were Sam when I first met you. Now you're a bit of a knobhead." Do you know what I mean? Like, stereotyping is it's the biggest issue. Do you know what I mean? But I think that's what we're trying to eradicate in the show. It's to say like, Scousers, the line grafters and grifters was terrible.
yeah.
But we work every day. Like, no matter who we are, you've got the likes of people. You've got probably the best athletes in the world who come from Liverpool, and you still see them on Matthew Street drinking with the locals.
There's one on every corner, you know what I mean?
Do you know what I mean? Like,
the city's full of talent, I'd say that, because just me sitting here doing this show, the amount of people who've sat in that chair, the amount of people who haven't sat in that chair who I know will speak to on like weekly basis and stuff, I wouldn't call them friends, but associates who you know of. There's so much talent in and around the city, lad. It's amazing.
That's what
as you said about Rain singing and stuff like that. It's like, whoa, yes, she can sing and they can do so much. They're all so versatile, but a lot of them are very, very grounded as well.
Yeah. I think that it just comes from who we are, doesn't it? That is what a source of Scouser is. Like,
yeah, and it's like when you start going to like London and stuff like that, you've seen videos of people like saying, you know, "Hey mate, where's the shop?" And it's like, it's fucking that way. And then you'd ask a Scouser and it's like, yeah, it's just down the road there and that. Yeah. It's two different types of people, and that's very much our culture. We're warm, welcoming.
And I think obviously that's what we're trying to get out there. That is what we're trying to get out there. And I think obviously going back to the pilot episode is we might we might be in competition. Obviously, Georgia and Melina might be in competition for what they're doing and for being Queen Bee or Queen of Liverpool, as Melina said. But it all comes from a place of love. They don't hate each other. They just respect that they're both in the same grind together. And it's one of them's in the way of the other one.
Yeah, someone's got to do it.
They don't want the other person to fail, but
they want success more than that person. They want success
more than that person. And I think Scousers are like that. Once one of us goes up, we'll open the door for the next person to go up.
I think as well, it's television as well. Like, at the end of the day, they don't want everyone to just be like all plain sailing and merry, because that doesn't make good TV. You know, so if there is a slight clash there, it helps it, because people want to watch it more. It's dramatised.
Nah, you know what I will say?
Like Megan's media Megan here. She was a fan of that, and she loves anything like that. You know what I mean? Like, when I said you were coming on, she was buzzing and that. She was like, yeah, and all that.
Was I all right, Meg? Yeah.
I thought it was good.
Yeah, it is. Right?
Yeah. So, you know, like, that's what the people want. People want to see stuff like that. You know what I mean? And they're looking for the viewers aspect. You know, is this going to work? Is it going to be watched?
Yeah.
Because as much as it's going to be enjoyable for the cast, it's got to work for the viewer as well. Otherwise, there's just there's no material in it, is there?
No, but that's what I think the mad thing was that you said how it affected me earlier on, and I didn't really answer it. But it's like, I don't think it has affected me that much yet. But over the past week, I think the more people that are watching it, like, I was walking down Seal Street on Saturday. Oh my God, you're off that show, aren't you? And I was
I was going to ask you that. That was what I was going to come to.
My head just fell off, and I was like, yeah. And she went, my mum loves you. Can I get a picture? And I was like, some proper John Ed. Just went, this is, I swear to God, no word of a lie, this is what he done. He went, hey lad, you're off that telly, aren't you? And he went, lad, can I get a picture now? I was like, go ahead, sweet.
Do you love all that once as well?
Like, I like the fact that the show's doing well. I'm not bothered about me.
Yeah.
People might think I'm dead entitled, and people might think, oh, I'm dead fucking up my own ass and that. But it's like, I've been told I was a good-looking kid since I was a young age. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, I'm gonna use that if it makes me, if it gets me better.
Yeah, to where you're going.
Yeah, like
100%. We use what we've got, don't we? We use our talents and our tools. If you're educated, you can use your education. Knowledge is power, you know.
Yeah.
If you're beautiful, man, you can use it. You know what I mean? You know, whatever works, innit? You know, at the end of the day, we've all got a plan, we've all got a dream, we've all got a goal and mission.
Yeah.
And we use our attributes, what we think are our strongest attributes, to achieve.
I think it's just about getting out of that rat race.
Or attain a goal.
Yeah, it's just about getting out that rat race every chance you get, or any way you can.
100%, lad. And, you know, we've got to try and enjoy all the moments as well, because I'm guilty of that. Like, I'll set a goal, and during that period of time, I'm grinding that hard at it. It's like, when I get there, and then I get there, and I set another one.
Yeah.
And I think we're never, ever fully, completely pleased.
Yeah.
You know, and it can be a good thing. It's a blessing, because it keeps you motivated and it keeps you working hard, it keeps you grinding, but at the same time, just try and sit and enjoy it as well. Enjoy the moment, you know what I mean?
No, 100%. I think I learned that the hard way, to be honest.
What's the most funniest or unexpected thing or thing that happened during the process or the show? Or can you tell us of any stories that never got aired, and you'd say, lad, get on this. This is what happened.
I've got a couple, you know.
Give us a Shake the Mic exclusive, lad.
So one of the clips that didn't get aired, and the 3 people who were recorded with in the scene never got shown on the show. So one was Mahmudo, one was Ruben, and one was a girl called Alex, who is former Liverpool CEO's daughter, Peter Moore. So I was in elite company, and I'm only 5'10", yeah. Ruben's 6'2".
Swerve that only, lad. I'm only 5'10".
Nah, but what I'm saying is Ruben's 6'2".
Yeah.
Mahmudo's 6'4", 6'5".
Big man, lad.
Alex is probably 5'10" without heels on, but she had heels on when we were recording. So we're just sitting there chatting, and I think Mahmudo or Ruben chat to Alex and go, so what's your type then? And I'm standing next to Alex here. Mahmudo and Ruben are in front of us here. And yeah, it was Ruben. He goes, so Alex, what's your type then? And Alex just goes, tall. And looks at me, lad, and I'm just sitting there going, oh, lad, I wanted to walk off and get off, you know, which was, I've just violated me like that for. But nah, I think the funniest thing that happened, and it was on day 1, and I think I had something bad to eat the night before, lad. And obviously I'm not used to being mic'd up and that. So I've got my mic on here underneath my top.
Lapel mics, yeah, just
yeah,
clipped
yeah.
through.
And then I've got the monitor behind my back.
Yeah.
And I thought, I need the shit here. I'm thinking my stomach's not working. Like, so I've darted to the toilet, and I thought, I don't know how to take this mic off. I didn't ask anyone to turn the mic off, so I just unplugged it. I just unscrewed the wire, and just took it out,
Yeah.
and just all hell let loose, lad. Like, terrible. Like, it was horrible. And then I never got back upstairs, and Liam said to me, lad, he went, you know, your mic's still on. And I just went, you're lying. And he went, lad, the producers have just heard everything. I was like, oh, no way. I'm going to get called Shitty Gex. But yeah, nah, it never aired. And no one knew about it until I just blew myself up.
I was about to say now, yeah. Whoever didn't know now does.
Yeah.
Scouse Life. What do you think's going to happen with the show moving forward? Is it going to get more airtime? Are we going to see it a Scouse Life on the telly again in the future? Or what's the situation? Where is it at now?
So, where it's at the minute is we aired it. The viewing numbers were all right. They were, especially for 10:30 at night.
What were the numbers, you know?
I don't have an exact figure. I think it might have been 250,000.
How does that compare to other shows at that time of night, you know?
I think I read somewhere that Married at First Sight done 900,000, and that was on just before it, and that's on a prime slot. So then everyone normally just switches off and goes to bed. So 250,000 at 10:30, which are the supposed numbers.
250,000 people.
Which is, it's good. But like, if you're looking on socials and E4, E4's TikTok, they post little reels all the time, or like little segments of the show that's happened.
Socials matter as well.
Yeah, 100%. And Married at First Sight, their viewing numbers, they range from like 100,000 to like 14 mil.
Yeah.
Like, they're 14 mil, there's only like 3 of them, and they're pinned to the top. And all the other ones are just like as they're uploading them. So ours is somewhere in there, and 2 of them have nearly got 1 mil already. One of them's got 400,000, the other one's got 300,000. But like, compared to Married at First Sight,
Is this on TikTok or Instagram?
this is on TikTok.
Yeah.
So compared to Married at First Sight, they're only getting like 200,000, 300,000, 400,000, and they've got an established fan base.
Yeah, it's hard to get that amount of views. Me and Curtis Campbell had a reel, the cage fighter, on Shake the Mic, and we got about 250,000 views on it.
Yeah.
And the UFC Fight Pass put it up, and that's probably our biggest ever
Did they,
reel. Yeah.
But that's what I mean. Like socials do matter.
Yeah,
So like,
you bang.
we can only determine how well we're doing based on socials, because it's the audience that are getting involved.
Listen, socials are the audience now as well, mate. You know what I mean?
100%.
A lot, like, I don't watch normal television, lad. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'll either scroll on my phone. I watch stuff on YouTube and that stuff that, you know, I'm orientated towards, like stuff that I think, I want to watch that, and I'll watch it. Or lad, I'm a Netflix dude and whatever. We all watch like smart telly now. You don't go home, like, fucking hell, I can't remember the last time I watched The Soap or something like that. You just don't do it anymore.
Like, someone said to me last night, I'm watching EastEnders at like 11 o'clock. But like, even EastEnders watching at 11 o'clock, that's on catch up. You're not watching
lad.
normal telly. You're not sitting there having to sift through adverts.
When was the last time you watched these or Corrie or whatever, lad?
With me now when I was about 14.
Lad, it's been a minute,
Do you know
hasn't it?
what I
You
mean?
know, so people don't do it anymore. So them numbers, that will make an impact. It will happen, because obviously as well, even if the numbers don't do massive numbers on the grid on national TV, if they do good numbers on socials, they'll still want to put it out there.
Yeah, exactly.
So what's happening? Are the producers saying whether it's gonna air or whether it's not gonna air, or what's the situation now?
So they've got to wait until the on-demand figures come out. So when that show aired, we had 28 days of it being on Channel 4 on demand. So it's still on there for another 2.5 weeks. I think it's 18 days. So once them numbers come in, that's when they're going to say, oh, people are actually going out the way to find it. People are going out the way to watch it. And then they'll be like, okay, yeah, we'll make a series out of this. People want to see more. But we won't find out until probably January. And then we won't find out until a bit later on whether it's being commissioned.
How do you feel about it now? You want January to come?
It's one of them, lad. Like, people haven't seen the full potential of the show. So what people are seeing of us they're probably gonna, if it doesn't get a series, they're just gonna turn around and go, you little muppet. Do you know what I mean? But then it's like, if it does get a series, that's when we can really be ourselves. And over the past few weeks, there's a lot that's gone on.
From Aunt Jacob's point of view, and not maybe necessarily the viewer, are you excited for what's to come with It's a Scouse Life if it goes forward?
I can't wait, to be honest.
Yeah, of course.
As soon as this goes to a series, it's gonna blow. Like, it will blow.
It could potentially change all 16 who were in that cast. It could change all your lives for the long term, forever, lad.
Yeah, undoubtedly. Like, that will change all of our lives for the better and maybe for the worse. Like, we will get stick, but you know what it is? We've all got each other.
Yeah, and
I think,
listen, you get stick with anything you do. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unless you, lad, look at footballers. You know, you can play amazing for 3 seasons, back to back, and you'd have 2 shit games and everyone hates you.
Yeah,
There's people screaming at you going down the road.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? People only like you or like things when they're deemed as perfect or doing good. But
well, the people who say that they're not asked about the show or hate the show,
why are you watching it?
they're very much asked. Like, they will be the ones tuning in, week out, to slag us off or to say it's shit. But at the end of the day, it's reality TV. It's entertainment.
Listen, mate, every single person who puts that telly on, and yeah, regardless if they want to message you, kick into you, slide in your DMs, comment on your shit, slag you off, whatever, they're watching, lad.
Yeah, 100%.
Keep put your shades on, baby, and keep watching.
Let's go for the ride.
Yeah. What's your favourite part of Liverpool that makes it special to you?
The favourite part about Liverpool to me, I'd say, it's how close everyone is with the families, whether that be good or bad. Like, how many times have you personally been said, oh, I know such and such, and it's like, oh yeah, well, I know his brother, or I know his cousin, or I know, do you know what I mean? And like, I'm very close with my family, very, very close, and people always go to me, what, is that your dad or is that your mum? And it's like, yeah. Do you know what I mean? That's probably my favourite part, because
we're very family orientated.
100%. Liverpool is known purely on families. Like, there's families in certain areas where everyone knows them.
Well, we've got extended families in Liverpool, like you've just been saying there about the cast and who you're working with in the 16 years, and you're all in that group, and that you become like a family, and your friends become your family, and that, you know, like I tell my friends often, like, I love you, lad, or like, you know, even like the people who I work with or whatever, you know, I always tell them, and we've got a good relationship, and I'd say like my work colleagues and that, they're like a family to me.
Yeah.
You know, we've got it, and I think I seen a clip off the show where someone said like, "our kid." That's one of the words we use, like, you know what I mean, and that. And it is like we've definitely got that running through all of us. That we're all connected. There's a connection there, isn't there?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, let's go back in time a little bit and get to know Aunt Jacobs. Who are you as a person, Ant? If you had to describe yourself at the actual core, lad, not behind the lens of a camera, not what people think they see or people think they know. Let's peel back the layers. Who are you, brother?
I think I give off a persona that's not really me. And I think that's just all to protect myself.
Let's get to know you. Who are you, lad? Come on.
I think from...
Open up to your Uncle Jack.
That's the proper nonsense that, you know. I think obviously, like, with family and stuff, like, my mum and dad were never together when I was growing up. They split up when I was 2.
You were from a very female-orientated background, weren't you?
Yeah, like, I've got me mum was only 17 when I was born, and she was the oldest of 3 sisters. So my 2 aunties are very much grew up as sisters to me. So my youngest auntie, she was only 10 when I was born, and like even now she's like my sister. Like, we speak on a regular basis like we're siblings. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I think from a young age, I think without having that constant sort of male role model, who was my dad. I had my little brother's dad there, but obviously he was more focused on his son, as you naturally would be.
Did you feel a sense of abandonment from your dad? Obviously, you know, your mum and your aunties were there for you, and you loved you, and you know, your brother's dad and your brother. But like, did you long for having like your own dad there, and like, did you long for that guidance, that?
To be fair, I think I just wanted someone to teach me how to be a man. Do you know what I mean?
I think all men do want that.
Yeah,
Like, we all long for that.
I think trying to learn to be a man in a very female orientated family, it's hard, and I'm very, very in touch with my emotions because of that, and I'll never change myself for it. Don't get me wrong, I was still seeing my dad on most weekends and stuff, but at that time in his life, he wasn't really a dad. Does that make sense?
100%, yeah.
And then it
And
wasn't.
it's hard for you to say that because he is your dad and you love him.
Yeah,
at the
yeah,
same time.
100%. It wasn't until later on in my life where he came back into my life and he stepped up. So hats off to him. But at that point, I was already a man. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what's strange as well when you said like you wanted them to show you how to be a man and stuff like that? There's no given moment, is there? You know, when you're a boy and you're growing up, you think like, when I'm 18 or when I'm 16 or whatever, you think there's a day like that's gonna mark that you turn into a man, and when you become a man, you won't have fear. You'll know what to do in all situations, but that day just doesn't come, does it, lad? And now you are a man, but you didn't see yourself going from boy to man. You
don't see that transition.
No, you don't. It just happens, and you look back and you think, wow, I'm a man now.
Yeah. I think obviously what happened to me when I was 18, that was a turning point. That was a big, massive turning point.
Let's get to 18. Before 18, let's roll the clock back a little bit.
So going back to your original question, who is Ant Jacobs? I was very much a crowd pleaser. I wanted to be a cool kid. I wanted to be accepted, and I think that came back from obviously not sort of having that male role model. I always felt like an outsider. Even to this day, I feel like an outsider. I feel like I've got imposter syndrome or something. It's mad. But yeah, like, I grew up a lot with my mates, and that really came into effect when I was like 12, 13, when I started playing sports, when I started playing rugby, when I started playing footy. It felt like I had a bubble. It felt like I had my circle. Do you know what I mean? And luckily, I've still got that same circle there now. So that's sort of held me down a little bit, but I have went off the rails because of probably the same issues that I've always had in my own head over the past.
In school, we the class clown.
I wouldn't say class clown because no one laughed. But
Was you out to impress people?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I
You
was
wanted to
100%
fuck
a
about to get that notoriety, to try and fit in, to try and take part.
Yeah, lad, if you look at all my school reports, it's always saying Anthony could be more focused. That's because if I was sitting on one side of the class and someone was having a laugh on the other side of the class,
you'd be over there.
Mate, I'm bouncing over within
You're in the mixer.
0.5 seconds. If someone's bouncing a rubber off someone's head,
it's you.
I'm bouncing a rubber off someone else's head just for the same laugh. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I think I'm perceived now as a very confident, very outgoing lad, and that's not the case. Like, even for example, like the past 2 days, I've been just chilling by myself because it's like I've been in my own head about shit. Like the past 2 weeks, I've sort of caught up with me, and I've just been like, I don't know if I can do this. Do you know what I mean?
Do you have hard times mentally sometimes, Ant?
Yeah, all the time. But I grow from it, and I excel in it because I know I can get over it. Do you know what I mean? And I think once you feel like you can't get over that moment, you do need to reach out for help. And I have had to reach out for help in the past because I didn't think I could get over it. But once you get over that hurdle, it starts to unlock something on your brain where you're like, every time you start to feel down, you remember what you've got over, you remember what you've got past. And I'd never heard a saying once saying, life throws challenges at you. If you can't get over this challenge, you're not prepared for the challenge lying ahead. So that means to me, if I can't get over, for example, a heartbreak 2.5 years ago, that doesn't mean I'll be able to get over the next heartbreak that I'll have in 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
So I won't be prepared for it. So it's like, that always sits in my brain where it's like, I know it's going to be harder in 5 years. Someone else is going to be harder than this. Do you know what I mean?
The challenges now are setting you up for the challenges in the future. Do you know, with you being like on the back of this reality TV show and stuff like that, obviously you're in a high performance environment. As you said, they've got you drinking Prosecco at 9 o'clock in the morning. You've got to be looking fresh and turn up and be on the ball every single day. And it's high energy. You know, you've got to be on it and you've got to be turning up. There's an element of pressure with anything like that.
Yeah.
Is that when you said to me, you're asking yourself, do you know, do I think I can do this? Is that what you're asking yourself? Can you keep turning up every day? Can you keep being 100% every day and the best of you show up?
Yeah, because as much as I'm a social person, my social battery runs out, like anyone else.
Do you know, when I asked you originally, who are you at the core? You've told me like about your past, sort of what's, you know, made you who you are today. But who would you say you are right now, Ant? Who are you?
Right now, that's an hard question to answer. That
It's a good question.
it's a really good question, to be honest.
I'm here all night.
to say who I am right now, I've never actually been asked that question before.
Would you say you're an empathetic person? Would you say you're caring? Would you say you're loving? Would you say you're hard working? How would you describe yourself at the core? Are you confident? Are you insecure?
No, not confident at all. I think to say I'm a fraud is very, very wrong, but I am very aware that I need to act certain types of way to make myself sort of feel better, if that makes sense. So it's like, if I'm feeling down, I'll need to put myself in a social environment to make myself forget about what's going on and to make myself sort of distracted. So to say who I am right now, I think I'm motivated. I'm at a point in my life where a lot of things are changing, not the reality show. I'm doing other things outside of that, where it's like I'm becoming more stable. I think my goal has always been to be a good dad, to be a family man, to have all my kids to one woman and have that solidarity.
That come from your childhood?
I think so. I think so. And I think that's what I'm moulding myself into now. So my mum had me at such a young age, and she always said to me, don't have a kid, it's so young, don't have a kid so young. And it's always sort of resonated with me. So I think over the past 10 years since I started drinking, I've just been living my life.
Yeah.
And over the past year, I'm like, okay, I'm 27 now. I've learned everything that I feel like I need to learn to pass on to the next generation of Ant.
Yeah.
And now I'm becoming the person who I've always wanted to be. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm finally finding my place in life. So the person who I am right now is...
I think it takes us till around that time, 30 or something, to find yourself.
Yeah, 100%. I think I'm a lot more focused. I'm a lot more disciplined.
That comes with maturity and experience, experimenting, doing different things. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who you are now isn't who you were 10 years ago, and who you will be in 10 years won't be who you are now. And that's why I always ask all the guests, who are you now?
Yeah.
Because we change. And people who say, oh, no, you can't change, or oh, we won't change, or I know all that. It's like, well, we do. If you just look at yourself in the past, look at yourself 5 years ago, you're different now. If you look at yourself last year, you're different now, because we're ever evolving. So that's who we are.
Yeah. Well, I think the one thing to eradicate anyone saying we don't change is all your blood cells change every 7 years. So essentially, every 7 years, you're a new person.
Yeah,
physically.
because we go through 7 stages. We go through 7-year cycles, don't we?
Yeah.
They say, like, show me the boy at 7, I'll show you the man and all that. It really is true.
I think I'm a lot more headstrong now.
You definitely have got to be, because of, you know, where you are now in terms of what you're doing, and putting yourself behind the lens of a camera, being in the limelight. And also we'll go on to touching back as what happened to you. You had an incident in 2015 and it was a life-changing experience. Your heart stopped while playing football and you collapsed on a football pitch.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about that? Can you remember that incident?
That was a mad one, because it's not funny, but the way I've been told the story about how I sort of woke up and stuff, it's just me in a nutshell. So before I get to that, I used to work in town as a promoter at how old was I? I was 18. So yeah, sorry. In the September, I'd just got an apprenticeship teaching, and I'd been playing rugby. So I was quite a fit kid.
You were sports orientated, weren't you?
Yeah. I still am now.
Did you aspire to have a career in sports when you were a child? No, when you were in school, was you thinking, I'm going to be a footballer or I'm going to be a rugby player or something along them lines? What were your occupational aspirations as a child?
I think everyone's dream as a lad in Liverpool is to be a footy player.
Yeah, 100%.
But
did you feel that dream could be a reality? Do you think you had the talent to be able to do that?
no, because I started rugby first. So I started playing rugby first, and I was tiny. I was proper small.
You look strong now. I've seen some pictures of you and that. Big challenges.
Yeah, no. So now, because I've played it for so long, it doesn't matter how big they are. It's like I just love getting involved in it. But no, when I was a kid, I think the one thing that kept me going was the group, the group of mates that I had there. Even though they were 2 years older than me, and I was the youngest, and I was tiny. I got picked up by St Helens because of how I was throwing myself about, and I was throwing myself into tackles with kids who were twice the size of me and that. So they was like, yeah, there's something there. So after a few years with them, I thought definitely I could definitely make something of myself. But unfortunately, it just never really happened.
Weren't to be.
Yeah, exactly. And so when I got the apprenticeship teaching, that was in the August, and then in the September the 12th, 2015, I'd been on a night shift in working in town, and I'd phoned one of my mates, and I was like, do you need any players today? Because I was playing for Marshalls at the time, and I hadn't been to training, so I wasn't in the squad. So I was like, I want to play anyway, so I'll just be a ringer. So I went and played for the U3 up in Kirby. They were playing against a team up in Kirby. And I remember speaking to my mate. So it was when we lived in Kenny at the time. I remember walking up to Kenny Mackey's, and my mate worked in Young Bargains facing. I remember speaking to him, and I was sitting on the wall waiting to get picked up. Got to footy, put me boots in that on, got my kids in that on, and we had to walk the goalposts over to the pitch at the time before it got all redone up behind the academy. And the whistle was about to go, and I was on the side of the pitch lacing my boots up, and that's the last thing I remember.
Don't you remember getting on the pitch?
No. Apparently I played an hour of the game. Apparently I scored, even though we were getting tonked 7-1.
And can you not remember anything from that period onwards?
It's like the whistle went and my body just went blank.
They said that it took 7 people to resuscitate you, and you were non-responsive for 30 minutes.
Yeah, so what had happened is it's sort of like a story to me, because obviously I wasn't there, so I've been told things. And the people who saved me, they said to me, the people that were around me first, they said to me, you just collapsed. Like, just turned around and just hit the deck.
It was in the box, weren't it?
Yeah. Just hit the deck. And then there was a group of my team and the other team around me. Because I was a ringer, no one knew me. So it was a bit mad.
Who's this kid?
Yeah, like, what's going on here? And then the lads who actually saved me, they were on another pitch on the other side of Windy Harbour up in Kirby. And they all ran over. And as they were running over, there was a fella walking away with his lad. And the fella actually said to the lads who saved me, don't be going over there, he's dead. So they've ran over and see me grey straight away. Mick said it on Good Morning Britain. He said as soon as we seen Nancy was grey, we knew he was dead.
watched Good Morning Britain. I watched the 7-minute clip. And he said, like, you were dead.
Yeah. So they've started doing
So all
CPR
them stories about, you see the big light and all that. There was no big light. There was no bright light. The lights were out.
Yeah, the lights were gone. The lights. I was asleep, mate. But no, like they've walked over and without hesitation they've started doing CPR on me straight away, and so I think they learned it from being in jail, to be honest. So that's a massive statement in itself. Do you know what I mean? Like, anything bad that happens, good can come out of it.
100%, mate. Yeah.
But yeah, so they were doing. I was down for 10 minutes. They say after 8 minutes you're not meant to come back. So that was before CPR. If you're down for 10 minutes without CPR, you're not meant to come back. So they were doing it on me for ages and ages and ages. And then I think I coughed up some like black tar. They said it was like black. And then they opened my eyes, and because I wear contact lenses, my eyes were still focused. And as they've scooped my eye out, they've scooped my contact lens out, my eyes just rolled to the back of my head. And he was like, shit. And he said I was just going greyer and greyer and greyer. After 5 more minutes, so 15 minutes in total, everyone was
It's
like...
very hard to perform CPR like that properly as well. The guy on Good Morning Britain said, like, it's exhausting, you know, they're taking turns a piece.
Yeah, well, to be fair, there was John Morkey and Jack Mano. They were recycling on... Oh, no, it wasn't, sorry. Morkey was mouth to mouth. And then Jack Mano was on compressions with his dad. Now, Jack and John were quite young. Robbie Mano, he was an old fella. Do you know what I mean? And for him to keep going and keep going and keep going, I don't know how he done it, to be honest.
Legend.
100%. 100% legend. Like, I stay in touch with them every now and again.
But lad, you're not giving up on a kid, are you? You know what I mean?
No.
And we can perform amazing things when the chips are down and you really, really got to, and that's probably what they keep them going.
Yeah, 100%. But like after 15 minutes, they said, "Where's the ambulance?" No, they rang the ambulance. They rang 999, and they said, "Where's the ambulance to Windy Harbour up in Kirby, Simmonswood?" And he was like, "We've had no call. We've had nothing." And he was like, "There's a kid like dead. Like we need one here now." So the air ambulance got there after the ambulance, but the ambulance couldn't get on the field because the groundsman had lost the keys in the commotion of everything.
That must have been a long period of time for them people who were there at your side.
10 seconds must have felt like
an hour. Yeah.
Yeah, it must have been mad. Whereas I can't remember anything. I was having a lovely sleep. But no, some lad turned around and was like, "The ambulance can't get on the field. I'm just going to go and ram it with my car." He had a brand new Audi at the time. He was like, "I'm just going to go and ram the gate." And then some other fella turned around and went, "Lad, I've got a whiz saw in my van." So we just pulled the whiz saw out, whizzed the gate open. The ambulances came on, hit me with the defib, brought me back, put me in the ambulance. In the ambulance I went again. Defib hit me again, brought me back. And then I was in the hospital and he put me in a coma for 2 days. But all while that was going on, no one knew who it was, like I've mentioned. So at the time it was thumbprints on your iPhone. Remember when you used to unlock your phone with your thumbprint?
Yeah.
So they put my thumbprint on there. And I think they phoned me missus at the time. And my mum was getting her nails done. So I was in the house by myself.
This must have been torture for your mum.
So she got so I've got all my tattoos are related to my heart attack. So I've got the date on my wrist here.
Can I see them?
The time on my wrist is the time my mum got the call saying I was dead.
Let's see the clock.
Yeah. So that's the time my mum got the call saying I was dead.
You've been given a second chance in life, haven't you?
100%. But my mum got to the hospital before me. She didn't. So the ambulance has pulled up. She's been on the phone saying, "Where's my son? Where's my son?" The ambulance has turned up, reversed out. She's still on the phone. And she looks at the ambulance, sees someone come out, tries to see if it's me, turns away because she doesn't think it is. And I used to wear these proper, like, eccentric boots, like proper, they were my boots, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was covered in wires, I was covered in tubes, I had a white sheet all over me. And she didn't recognise me, and then she see me boots, and she just collapsed. Like, she was just in pieces. But I think this epitomises who I am. So obviously, at that point, I'm in hospital, I'm all right. I'm fine. Well, I'm not fine, but I'm in good hands. Do you know what I mean? And I woke up after 2 days, and he prepared everyone. He was like, he was being out for so long. He's stable, but he might not be, Anthony. Like, my mind might just be gone.
Yeah, because that's what I was thinking when I read the story. I was thinking for somebody to be like non-responsive for 30 minutes, sometimes you could be a cabbage lad when you wake up.
The only oxygen that was getting to me was through my blood cells. So it was just a bit mad, and obviously the mouth to mouth. But yeah, as soon as I woke up, what's happening? I knew who everyone was, apart from my missus. I didn't know who she was. I knew who everyone else was.
What was that experience like?
My bed was here, and I woke up, and he was like, "Do you know what's happened to you?" And like, I looked down, realised I was in hospital, And I was like, yeah, I've just broke both my legs because I had compression socks on, you know, them big white compression socks. And then I think a few people just started crying because I don't know if it was relief or they were scared or I don't know. But he was like, no, you've had a heart attack. And I was like, shut up. He went, you know what day it is? I was like, yeah, it's Saturday. He was like, no, it's Monday. And I was like, oh, this is mad, this.
And did this happen on the Saturday, did it, yeah?
This happened.
So you haven't had that period of time in your head? 2 days hasn't been 2 days, been 5 minutes. Literally.
Just, I knew I was playing footy, which I think that's why everyone started crying, because he was relieved. He was like, he knew what he was doing.
Yeah, you were in.
Yeah.
What was that like, not knowing who your girlfriend was, knowing she was sitting there?
I think it's because I was on morphine and that. I think it's because I was really, really drugged up.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me at that time, nothing else really mattered. I was in my own little bubble. Like, I was calling me ECG wires, me spaghetti. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just wasn't there in the head to understand exactly what was going on. So I think after obviously a couple of days, I've remembered obviously who she was. Do you know what I mean? But if that's the only thing that I couldn't remember at that time when I was waking up, mate, I'd take it all day. I'd take it all day. But I think there might be a bit of lasting damage at the moment, because it's like I don't really remember anything before it. Like school days, I only remember little things, like pictures that I've seen that have unlocked memories, or it's like big sort of occasions. They're the only sort of little things that I sort of remember.
Prior to that accident, you don't really remember very much at all?
Not really, no.
That's strange, isn't it? Can you still feel all the human connections from all your life basically prior to that accident? So like your human connection with your mum, with your aunties and all that.
Yeah.
Were they all still as strong as what it was prior to it?
Yeah.
Regardless of your memories being distorted.
Yeah, 100%.
I read also in an article, a teammate of yours or someone who was there, James Wilkinson, said one thing that'll stick with me for life was one of the other team managers said, whilst they were waiting for the ambulance, this is a match you're not going to lose.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel when you hear them words?
It still probably gives me shivers to this day, to be honest. I don't know, he was right, wasn't he? And he actually got that tattooed on his arm. I've got the picture here if you want to see it.
Please do. Get it out.
Yeah, so he's got a picture of I think it's the ant off Bugs Life, and he's got a Jacobs FC top on, because he was the lads who saved me made a team called Jacobs FC, and just throwing out there, they won the league. Where is it? So yeah, it popped up on me Facebook the other day, the 23rd of November 2015. Mich Pew. I did say I would get one. There you go, Ant. That's it there.
Wow. It's amazing. Yeah. We'll pull it up, send it to me, and we'll pull it up on the podcast. That's unbelievable. You've now got an ICD fitted, haven't you?
Yeah.
Explain to anyone watching who doesn't know what an ICD is. Can you tell us what it is?
So an ICD is very similar to a pacemaker. I think most people know what a pacemaker is.
Yeah.
A pacemaker sort of regulates your heart if it goes above or below a certain amount of beats per minute. Mine is a defibrillator. So if my heart ever stops, it will just kick in again. It's not sort of keeping my heart going. It's not keeping my heart at a regular beat.
But if it stops, it'll bang.
But if it stops, yeah, I'll just judder and like just shake. But it's been 9 years now, and nothing's happened.
Is there any side effects with an ICD? Do you feel any different? Can you feel anything from it?
At first, I felt like it just kept moving about. I couldn't lie on my side. I couldn't lie on my front. Like, I was very limited to what I could do, and I think that was just mentally more than anything. But over the years, it's obviously got set in my muscle of my chest.
You've adapted to it.
Yeah, but like for 9 months after,
I've seen pictures of you with no shirt on with it, and you can see it in your chest, can't you?
For 9 months after, my mental state was bad, because he was like, you can't do footy, you can't do rugby, you can't go to the gym.
This is where I was going to come to. When you said to me before, and I asked you who you are, you're a very strong person, lad, because you've defied all odds. Because when I watched the episode on Good Morning Britain, they said you'll never be able to play. They asked you, could you ever play football again? And you said no.
Yeah.
So at the time, you couldn't. And obviously, I know differently now by looking on your social media and stuff like that. And obviously having you here sitting down and talking to you. We'll come to that in a minute. About where you are now and what you're doing and stuff like that. But at that period of time, because these things were so important to you and so much of a big part of your life, obviously football, rugby, sport, you were very that way out. For them to turn around and say, right, all that's being taken away, just like that, that must have been very, very hard for you to deal with.
Nah, exactly, because like I was an 18-year-old kid. Do you know what I mean? Like I'd never defied sort of my physical health. I'd never went against it. Like all my mates were going out every weekend and doing X, Y, and Z. I was very, very committed to my sport. I loved it. Like even in school, I'd cycle from school to Carlinen to play footy. I'd then cycle from Carlinen to De La Salle to play rugby, and then I'd cycle from De La Salle all the way back to Old Swan to get home. As a 16-year-old kid, 17-year-old kid, like I was doing college, I was in school at them times. I was very, very committed. And he even said to me after they put me ICD in, he was like, you might have just been too fit. Your heart couldn't produce enough blood to your muscles, so it went into a cardiac arrest. And he said it would have happened regardless of where it was. If I was in the bath, if I was sitting at home like I was meant to, my mum would have came home and would have been dead. Yeah,
it was a godsend that you went to that match that day.
Yeah, 100%.
How has it altered your perspective as it made you look at life differently?
Yeah, 100%. For the first couple of years after it, I didn't care about myself. Because, not in like a disrespectful way, but I thought if I was meant to die, I would have died then. So I was getting myself in stupid situations. I was getting myself in arguments and fights all the time where I was like, I know I'm harder than you. Just because of what I went through. Like it had that sort of mental side to me. But I think I needed to have that mental side, because if I never, I would have just dug myself into a deep hole being like, you're worthless, you can't do nothing now, your life's over. So I think I needed to sort of give myself something to prove to myself. Hence why I got into boxing. No one would let me fight for them. No one. I couldn't go to an amateur, and if you can't go to an amateur, you couldn't go pro. So I started jumping on like white collar events and just doing it that way.
Was you boxing? Was you?
Yeah. I was doing it with a lad called Connor. CH Fitness.
I know Connor, lad, yeah.
So I started doing it with him, lad, just for fitness.
Who was your training? Derby Lane with him?
Derby Lane. It was the old fire station at first.
Yeah, further up, yeah.
Yeah. And then Bazo was like, do you want to fight? And I was like, I need a medic to sign me off. And I had a long conversation with one of the paramedics, and he was like, if I feel like anything goes wrong, I'm pulling you straight out. So when my first fight came, I knew he was watching me like a hawk.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I can't not win. Like I've wanted this for too long not to win. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know, for you to be actually at a sporting event like that, in a boxing ring, like with this ICD, coming through all what you've came through, you know, being told like literally you're never going to partake in sports ever again. And where was it? It was Envy. Where the show was, where was the fight?
The first one?
Yeah.
It was in the, what's it called? It's literally down here at the end of the Swan, facing the Wetherspoons.
The I-field?
The I-field.
So you're in the I-field now, yeah. Scouse venue, that
the
lad.
I-field, lad.
So you're in the I-field now. What was that feeling like when you were standing in the ring and you knew, you know, you've defied all odds, lad, you're there?
Lad, you know what? I was just made up. I like, my adrenaline was there. I was shaking. I couldn't hold nothing down. After the fight, lad, I won in the second round. After the fight, lad, I went outside and threw up everything. Like, everything.
It's a nerve-wracking experience, isn't it?
Yeah, lad, it was mental. Like, I don't know, I think it was just like, that to me was more of an out-of-body experience, because I was like, I can't believe I've just
had a fight.
Yeah. Like, I've had plenty in the street, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's different, because there's a lot of people there and there's a lot of pressure, isn't there?
Like, I couldn't hear Connor in the corner. The only person I could hear was my mum.
Yeah, it's a washing machine, just blared, innit?
The only thing I could hear was my mum. And I think that's just like a cognitive thing, like I can always distinguish her voice.
Yeah, 100%.
And just to have everyone there who sort of, who'd been through that with me, who'd been through my cardiac arrest with me, it was more of like I'm still here. Like, I'm still me. Like, look, do you know what I mean?
White collar boxing does do a lot, you know, that because like I've always been an advocate for amateur boxing and stuff, and I've had a few white collars myself and boxed on a few unlicensed shows and stuff, and I was always against it. Michael Loop was like to me, you know, it can do so much for so many people, and like just sitting there and your story there, like an amateur bout, you know, the ABA wouldn't sanction a bout like that with you in that condition, as you said, neither would professionals. So I suppose it gives a platform for everyone. It gives everyone a space, and it's facilitating moments like that. So I think in the right hands, in a controlled environment and stuff like that, it is definitely good for society.
Yeah, 100%. I think the proudest moments I've had in the ring. So I think it was last year, and I was fighting a lad from the same gym, and he's a PT. So I knew I had my work cut out for me, and at the time I was an estate agent, so I was in the office 9 till 6. Do you know what I mean? I could only get to the gym 2 or 3 times a day, so I was just making sure I was going on jogs every single night.
Yeah, you've got to put it in, lad, haven't you?
So I was like, if I can't beat him with power, I'm going to beat him with stamina.
Yeah, I've got to be fit.
Yeah, and then I went out, but I didn't go out. I was out with the boys the week before my fight. Wasn't drinking or nothing.
But you were just there.
Yeah, and then I seen one of the girls that I used to go to school with who I hadn't seen in years. And I was standing there at the bar, and it was quite a small bar. And some lad must have been trying to get to the bar, and he's nudged me in the back. And as I've turned round, I've literally turned round like this, and he just went bang, and just hit me in the lip.
So see that there, the scar?
I've got a scar on my lip here. And my lip was just cut open straight away, and that was the week before my fight.
No way, what was that for, lad?
Don't know, lad. Literally couldn't tell you. Honest to God, couldn't tell you. So then I went to the hospital, got it all stitched up, and I was like, I really don't want to pull out this fight. Speaking to Connor, speaking to Bazo, I was like, lad, I still need to fight. And then I got there, and he was like, do you wear contacts? I was like, yeah. You've got an ICD? Yeah.
Fixed lights on you.
You've got 6 stitches in your lip? Yeah. He was like, you're a walking disaster. And I was like,
yeah.
Nice one, love. Do you know what I mean? I like you too. But yeah, like the medic said to me, he's like, as soon as that goes, the fight's done. As soon as
if he catches you,
fight's done. And the lad in the corner I used to go to school with, in his corner, I used to go to school with, and I think he was always someone I sort of looked up to and wanted his respect.
Who was your boxing?
I don't know if he wants me to say it. Nah, to be fair, it was Jake Clark.
I know Jake Clark.
Yeah. So it was Jake.
Yeah.
And he must have brought about 140 heads there, and I had about 20.
Lad, I remember when Jake was boxing, and I was going to get down there, but I never went down. I know Jake, he's all right. Jake. Yeah, lad, he's hilarious, lad.
But that's what I mean, lad. We were sitting there, the week of the fight or the week before the fight, and we were both in the sauna together in Derby Lane.
Yeah,
so he was upstairs and I was downstairs with Connor. Do you know what I mean? So it was
very PT's upstairs with Luke and Carl, don't he?
Yeah,
he's all day, lad, Jake. Yeah,
lad, he's boss. So it was like. It was the biggest fight on the card because everyone
knew. Yeah, everyone was. Lad, it was Ram. I seen it like a video clip of it, and lad, it was Ram in there, weren't it?
Lad, it was sick. It was probably the best.
It was in town in
what is it? The factory.
The Anger or the
some factory down like Bootleways.
Yeah. I'm on it, lad. Yeah.
But lad, like the whole vibe, the production of it was sick. The walkout was sick. The whole night was sick, and he pushed me to my limits. Like, he really did push me to my limits. And his first jab busted my lip open. Just went bang. And I was like, oh, shit. And Connor was pleading with the medic, just let him fight. The rounds went on. And luckily, I got to the last whistle and won by decision. But, like, the biggest thing for me, like I was saying about the lad who we used to go to school with, who was in his corner, he was always known as like the hard kid in school. He was always known as the lad's lad. Do you know what I mean?
Who was in this corner?
Macha
Baha,
yeah.
Because him and Basnett boxed as well, didn't he?
Yeah. And I remember Macha hit me in school with a kick, just a leg kick, because he used to do Muay Thai, didn't he?
Lad, he can whack, lad, he can kick.
He can bang. But like, we were all just messing and that, but like, he was always the lad who like everyone wanted to be mates with.
Yeah,
you know, in school.
Yeah.
And I think he said to me like a week, like the day after or something, he was like, I didn't even realise that you were that type of kid.
Like that.
Yeah. But the thing is, before the final round, Macha shouted something to Jake, and I think he said something along the lines of like, he's shit him, you should be battering him or something. And I looked at Macha and smiled, and then came out in the final round and nearly got the stoppage.
Yeah, you were having a go, lad.
Yeah,
you were putting it on him.
And yeah, like that was just one of the moments where I was like, I've actually like gone past what I thought I'd do here, just out of pure determination.
Yeah, you'd exceeded your own expectations.
Yeah, but that's like plaudits to both of them, because Jake used to be in the Marines.
Yeah, he's fit, lad. He's fit as fuck, lad.
Have you seen the size of his legs?
He was in the Navy, Jake, yeah.
The Navy.
He was in the Navy, lad, yeah. And he's fit, lad. He's fit and he's strong and that. And he lives in the gym, doesn't he?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But that's what I mean. Like, when he asked me to fight him, I was like, I don't think I can get in the gym enough to fight him, to be honest. And then I started seeing videos when he was doing the pads, and I was just like, I need to step up here. I really need to step up, or I'm just going to get laid out in front of everyone.
And I like Jake as well, lad. He's a proper good lad. He's a laugh, lad. He's all there. He's funny as well, and lad. He's got a proper humour. He's got
a proper sense of humour. Like.
Yeah, lad. He's a belter. Yeah, I didn't know you box, so yeah, that just shows, how you did defy the odds. You're a very strong character. How did football and rugby come back? What was the feeling like when you walked onto a pitch again? After all this, like, you're never gonna take part in sports again. Obviously, I didn't know you box, so that was good. It was refreshing there for me. And then, obviously, with the footballing career, what happened? What was the feeling like when you walked back onto a football pitch for the first time again? Can you remember it? Can you pinpoint it?
I think I was just made up that someone gave me the opportunity again, because there was a lad who took me to witness under 21s, and his name was Nick Matthews, and he took me down. I played a few games in that, and then some other lad came in and he wouldn't play me because of my defib. So that was like when I first started.
Was there a lot of stigma around it? Because obviously it's a big story and stuff. I wouldn't want to play you, lad. If you turned up to me and said you want to play, I'd be like, your mum will kill me, lad. If I put you on that pitch, lad, and something happens, it's on me. Do you know what I mean?
No, that's what I mean. Like, at first, I resented the decision. I hated it. I was like, you can't just label me like that.
Yeah. No, and I can understand from your point of view.
Yeah.
Their point of view as well. Obviously, they know you've got a family and all what your mum's been through. Like, shout out to your mum.
Yeah.
You know, because that, like, I know now because I'm a parent, if something like that happened to one of my kids, like, it was touching me when you said, like, your boots and all that. It's like, your own kids, you know what they wear, you know how they are. And when you get a phone call like that, it just must be just your whole world turned upside down. So the way I'm asking you, how was it for you? There must have been a massive element of fear there for your mum as well, letting you go back out into the world and just be yourself again and be on your own even, do you know what I mean? No, I'd be scared to let my kid be on their own again, even though there's nothing you can do to save it.
No, it was hard for my mum for a while. She was always texting me, was always messaging me, when are you home, when are you doing this, what are you doing? Like, me and my mum were very, very close. And it was hard for her, but I don't think I really seen that at the time, because I was just dead happy to be myself again, because for 9 months I was in a bad way because I couldn't do nothing. Like, I didn't even, when I went to Portugal to see my nan and stuff, or when I went on holiday with the family, I'd sit by the pool with my top off, but if I wanted to go to the toilet or if I wanted to go and get something, I'd put my top on, because I'd see people looking. I'd see people looking at my chest, and I'd be like, used to say to me missus at the time, I'd be like, I want to go home. Like, I want to go and sit in the room. I don't like people looking at me like that. I just think I had a stigma about myself, to be honest. Do you know what I mean? I didn't want people feeling sorry for me. I'm not that guy.
You get your kit off now, though, lad. I've seen
you.
No shirt on your socials and that.
You know what it is, though? I think my defib's a part of my identity now.
So you are.
Yeah. It's who I am. Do you know
what people ask you about it, or are they shy to ask you about it? And you know what I mean? Like, if I seen it, I'd say to you, lad, what's that? Yeah. Where, obviously not in front of people, but I'd ask you what it is. Yeah. Where some people aren't that way out, are they? But it's like,
I think.
Would you prefer someone to ask you about it or not?
I think the more, 100%, I'd rather them ask. I don't want them staring.
That's what I mean. Yeah, because you'd be like, why are you looking at me? Either don't look or fucking ask me about it.
But it's not even like the staring like that. Like the staring going. Just proper side-eye and that, you know what I mean? But I think the more comfortable I've got with it is the more comfortable I've got speaking about it. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, I took it from a negative into a positive. It's reminded me who I am and what I've got over, rather than holding me back from doing certain things. Like, I've not done anything amazing in my life. I've not reached sort of like levels of professionalism where in sport, but it's like,
it's
I never say no.
Yeah, and what you deem to be a level of success. Yeah. Everyone's level of success is different. And for me, I'd say it's massively successful.
Yeah.
Because as well as a lot of people, lad, who mentally would have just locked themselves away and put their own barrier there and not tested that. You know, can I do that again? Because they just say to themselves, nah, I can't do that. And I've got this ICD, I've had an heart attack. I can't go out and just take them chances, because it's a chance. You don't know what's going to happen when you put your body through them stresses, because that's what physical exercise is. It's stress on the body. So it's like, how much stress can your body take? How much stress can your heart take? Well, you don't know, but you're testing it.
Yeah, because just to sort of add on to what you've just been saying there, after I got it fitted, they put me on a treadmill to see if it was registering my heartbeat, and I hadn't walked properly in about 8 days, and they put me on the treadmill and said, we'll just go up to like level 7. Like, I was legging it. I was on level 15. And I was like, I feel fine. And he was like, no, we need to stop now, because like we don't know what's going to happen.
We don't know, yeah.
But I think everyone in life has that turning point where something dramatic happens, and to get through it is the best feeling in the world. And you can only go up from there. Like, as soon as that happened, I went out the week later and was having vodka Red Bulls. Vodka slows your heart down, Red Bull speeds it up. And it was just, I just didn't respect myself at all. But it's like, I learned to do that again, and I'm reaping the fruits of the rewards. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm seeing the benefits of me downfalls.
Do you ever live with an element of fear? Because you don't know what's going to happen, because of what did happen. Do you know, has there ever been a time where you've thought to yourself, shit, something could happen to me there? Or do you ever have a moment where you think to yourself like that?
No.
I think, like, if we thought like that, you wouldn't go out, would you? But like, when you've been through something so big like that, some people would be scared. You know, will it happen again? Can it happen again? And
yeah, I think I was just young and naive, and I think that's why I've never thought like that.
I think that's a good thing. It's blessed you. If you would have been a bit later on in life, you might have been a lot more cautious.
If I was later on in life, I'd be like, okay, I need to slow down now. Like, especially if I had kids, my kids would be like, yeah, Dad, you need to relax a little bit here. But now that I went through it at such a young age, and I've got that experience, I can tell my kids about that experience. Hopefully it sort of motivates them to push themselves further in life. You know,
it's not something we can prepare for either, is it?
No.
You know, definitely not. You know, you don't get up in the morning and think, right, I could something serious like that, I could go out and have a heart attack today. There's no telltale sign, there's no warning sign, is there?
No, but lad, you've only got to look at Mwamba, Ericsson. You've only got to look at all these footy players that...
I know. When you say it happens in a heartbeat, it literally does, doesn't it? You know, it's in a moment.
Just to sort of picture what happened was my arteries thickened and my heart couldn't push the blood through my arteries, so because my blood was too thick. So it went into a cardiac arrest, and that's as simple as it is. It's
strange the way we don't think about how the human body functions on a daily, because it just does it automatically, so it's natural. But like, if you have one malfunction in the whole system like that, it's curtains.
Yeah, 100%. It's mad.
Just out of nowhere.
Like, you could be walking down the street and that could be your last walk. Do you know what I mean?
Who inspires you? Who inspires you, Nance?
My mum inspires me.
I had a feeling you were going to say that.
100%. My mum, my nan.
What's your mum called?
Maxine.
Shout out Maxine. Big up Maxine, man.
Yeah. No, my mum... There's not enough praise in the world for my mum. My mum's a human being. I'm not saying she's perfect. Neither am I. None of us are. But she shows me every single day that you don't need to be perfect to be successful. You
got to show up.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I was 10 when she was 27. I was 13 when she was 30.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
17.
Yeah, like, we grew up together. Quick maths.
Megan's a young one, aren't you, mate?
I was 17 when I had my daughter.
It's a different type of bond, isn't it? Like, I think if I had a kid at 17, my head would be gone. I wouldn't know what to do. Megan. So hats off, Megan. Like, I don't know how you do it.
I always wound her up and say she's 39, but she's not. She's about 22 and her kid's 19. No,
but that, like, if you've seen pictures of my mum, people always say, is that your sister?
Yeah.
Because, like, I'm probably like 90% my mum, looks-wise.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? I probably get me anger and me wittiness from my dad.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, my mum's 100% the person I look up to, just through everything that she's went through. Now, never gonna dive into it because that's not my business to dive into. But I've seen it get over hurdles that grown men wouldn't get over.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Now, we might clash all the time, but again, it's like what I was saying earlier. Scousers do clash. It's all out of love.
It's a love-hate relationship, lad, yeah.
100%.
And the more you love people, the more aggro you can seem to have sometimes, you know what I mean?
I don't think Scousers beat around the bush. If you don't like something, you don't like something.
Yeah, and you'll say it how it is.
Yeah, and then 5 minutes later, you'll be like, you know what? You were right for calling me a knobhead there. You know what I mean?
There's always that in there, you know what? I was wrong there. You were right there.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what it is with me mum.
Yeah. Go on.
I forgot what I was going to say, lad.
It's okay. Just touching and finishing up on like your sports. Have you recently won the Junior County Cup?
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
So, a few of the lads a few years ago, one of the lads called Charlie Pascal, or I can't say his real second name, Pascal Galolis.
Pascal was good.
His dad used to play for Nicosia years ago when they were sort of at the height of Sunday League footy. Like, they won the Nash and everything.
Wow.
And then Charlie decided in lockdown to make the team again. And we just started off in the lowest league in Sunday League, and it was just a laugh. And some of the players that we played with didn't look like they played footy, but it was just a laugh, and it was his sort of dream to follow in his dad's footsteps and to make something of it again. And then over the past 5 years, we've just sort of drafted in players. I left for a year and came back. And then this season just gone. I don't think the season started and we was like, yeah, let's win the County Cup. I think we just wanted to play together, and we seen the players that we had, and was like, just take every game as it comes.
Did you have a decent squad?
Yeah, we've got a better squad now, it's mad. And then I think it got to the second game in the County Cup, and we were looking at the teams that we were playing, and we'd had history with them over the years. So every game was like, this is revenge.
Yeah.
So every team that we played up until the final knocked us out in years before, or like beat us in the league a couple of years before. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so it was more than just a game of football to use.
Yeah. And then we moved over to the Warrington Prem, and we played a team who had smashed us a couple of weeks before, 5-1. He'd won the league 3 times on the bounce, and we had half a team at the time. We had our left back in goal. Like, it's just Sunday League footy.
So I was just about to say Sunday League footy's amazing, lad, isn't it?
Yeah, lad, and then we knew it was the quarter final of the County Cup, and it was like, this is the big test.
Yeah.
Like, this is the big test, because they wanted to win it. They let it know that they wanted to win the County Cup. They'd won everything in the Warrington Prem.
Yeah.
They wanted that junior County Cup.
Yeah, they made it known.
Yeah. They folded now because we won it. But we beat them 1-0 on their turf, and it was boss. And then the semi-final, we won 2-1.
Was that a turning point, do you think? Do you think that game when you
keep in touch, and you want to be there.
Boss. Is there anything that we haven't touched on that you'd like to talk about?
Nah, not that I can think of. I think you've nailed it, to be fair, with all the questions.
We've covered it, haven't we?
Yeah, I think you've nailed it.
Let's have some quick fire ones then before you go, because I just love a little bit of this.
Go on.
If you could invite 3 famous Scousers, past or present, to a dinner party, who would it be and why? Just give me who would it be. I swear to why.
Steven Gerrard.
Yeah, my man.
100%. Probably Paddy.
Paddy the Baddy.
Yeah. Because he's went from...
Check them cameras. Go on.
I think because Paddy's went from being a turning point in his life when he first sort of started making into Cage Warriors, and when he got beat in Cage Warriors, he could have went down. His lifestyle could have took him right the way down, and he decided to bounce back, and he is where he is now. So it's like more of a personal conversation I'd want to have with him. And then...
Lad, you can have whoever you want, lad. You can have Jimmy Corkill if you want him there, lad. Mick Jono. Lad, it's up to you.
Nah, you know what? I feel like someone musically.
You can have John Lennon, lad, if you want, lad. He can be past or present.
Nah, you know what? I probably would. I probably would have John Lennon.
John Lennon, okay. Boss night in or a good night out?
Boss night in.
Favourite spot in the city?
Favourite spot in the city? Is this like just chilling, or is this like
anywhere,
food?
brother? You can go anywhere. It could be chilling. It could be food. It could be anywhere, lad. But you can only pick one. Your favourite spot?
I'm gonna be open with it at first. I'm gonna say like a rugby pitch or a footy pitch, and then I'm gonna pin it down to one place. It's Anfield.
My man. Good choice. What are the 3 most Scouse words you can think of?
Heavy.
Yeah.
Is right. That's classed as one. Belter.
You can go anywhere in the world. Where would it be?
Bali.
One skill you could acquire overnight.
To play the piano.
Yeah, expecting it. You could go back and relive any one moment. What would it be?
I could relive one moment. Can we change that question?
Yeah.
If I could live in one moment, regardless whether it's happened or not, is my mum getting married. I'd love that day. I'd love it.
Sick. If you could take someone visiting Liverpool for the first time on a day out, where would you go? You can hit a few spots.
I had a funny one then.
Sure, lad.
I was going to say I had Margot Robbie. I'd probably take her for food somewhere, like the Panoramic 34.
You're going to Panorama, yeah.
Yeah. And then I was going to say something funny, like take her to everything else.
Favourite band or musician?
Pink Floyd.
Oh, lad, my man.
Floyd.
I can feel that, you know. Yeah. Morning person or a night owl?
Night owl.
I want to judge you on this one, lad. Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
No, lad.
Yes, brother.
No, lad.
We would have to terminate
You know
this
what?
year and now.
The only time pineapple's good though is if you've been to like Viva Brazil or like any of them Brazilian gaffs. They do like a rotisserie pineapple.
Yeah,
it's half heavy,
but lad,
not
I
on
feel
pizza,
like
lad.
it's gotta be cold. Do you know what I mean? Pineapple cold, yeah, like fresh fruit, but and you start putting it on pizzas and
Yeah,
that.
you can't put it with tomato sauce, lad.
Start getting worried about it. One piece of advice you could give your younger self.
Keep going.
What's your biggest fear?
Drowning.
If you could only wear one colour for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Black.
What's your go-to chippy order?
Oh. To be fair, you know what? I stumbled when I said this last time, and I think I said chicken fried rice, and I meant special fried rice.
Oh.
so I meant salt and pepper chicken, special fried rice, carton of curry, and salt and pepper chips.
You're a Scouse lad, you know the way around the menu board.
You know my best takeaway?
Go on.
Mr. Kebab in town on Slater Street.
Lad, I've never experienced Mr. Kebab, but now
lad.
you've told me about him. I've got to go there. I've got to have a little
Mr.
slice
Kebab
of it.
is the heaviest.
I'm getting in there.
And I've got this special sauce, unbelievable.
Is it just called special sauce?
Yeah. Just ask for the special
I'll
sauce.
message you, lad, when I've been and tell you exactly what I think of it, lad. What's the worst fashion trend you've ever followed?
Mullets. Oh no, that I've followed.
Yeah.
Never had a mullet.
Yeah.
Never had a mullet. Just let me put that out there now. I thought it just meant worst fashion trend.
Yeah. It's alright. We'll roll with that one. Yeah, it's alright.
Worst fashion trend that I've followed is probably them American apparels when I was a kid.
One thing in your life on your bucket list that you haven't ticked off yet?
Skydiving.
Belter. That's it, lad. Wrap it up there. I just want to say thank you very much for coming in. And before we go, have you got any shout-outs that you'd like to do to anyone? Anyone who's helped you? Anyone who's relevant to this conversation? Any sponsors? Anything like that?
All the brands that have sort of put me to where I am have probably got me noticed on the show. Obviously, Gratitude, Caldo, Murray, even working with Red Run last week. Obviously, that's going to kick on a bit. Alice for getting me on the show. You for getting me on here.
My man.
And having this belter conversation. All the producers that have been a part of the show, Janice, everyone on the cast, even the people that weren't on the show, it's like we've made like a real family feel around the show. And everyone who keeps loving and supporting the show. And the biggest shout out goes to my mum and my little brother. Like, they sit really close to my heart. So it's like, I wouldn't have turned into the man I was if my mum never taught me how to be the man I should be. And then even raising my little brother, there's 7 years difference. So it's like, when I was 17, he was 10. When I was 18, he was 11 when I had my cardiac arrest. And it's like, I've sort of held his hand all the way up. Like, even now he's 20. It's like, there's nothing I wouldn't do for him. Like, it's not obviously not my son, but I feel like I need to look over him. Do you know what I mean?
That's amazing, brother. Thank you. Thank you for sharing the space and the time with me. I just want to do a few shout outs. Shout out to Gratitude Apparel for sponsoring us in the podcast. Shout out to JT Medical Aesthetics because he sponsors us and jumps on my company, Green Lane Blinds, because the podcast wouldn't be possible without them. And I just want to say until next time, thanks very much for tuning in and peace out. Brother.